Question. How do you raise your child in these difficult times? The good news is you are acknowledging it's difficult times. Second good news, you're worried about it. Anytime I'm worried about something, that becomes a priority. Like I worry I'm going to miss the flight, you're not going to miss the flight. Now, number one, I want to say it to everybody. It's going to make you feel better, but it is not anesthesia, it's reality. The result, how your children will come out, is not because of your effort. It's because of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I always bring this example. Sayyidina Nuh, Prophet, had two children. One is a kafir, completely, the one Allah mentioned in the Quran, and the other one was a believer. And he's a prophet. Sayyidina Ibrahim, his father was kafir. So the end result is not in my hand. And the beauty is Allah will not take me accountable because of the result. No, He's going to tell me to put the effort. So that's alhamdulillah. Now come to practicality. In general, there is always exceptions to the rule, but I'm talking in general. The house that the child grew up in will bring the fruit of that child. If your priority, again, as a woman, as a father, the mother, the family, if your priority is dunya, what school you're going to go to, what university, what career, then your child will have a career. If your priority, and I'm not talking about when they become 15 and 16, I always tell the woman it's too late. The result of the child starts before you get married. Who do you marry to? I love him, comes from a good family, nice looking, he has a good job. That will not guarantee anything. I married him because he's Allah-fearing, again to the best of your knowledge. You and him share the same goal, which is raising a Muslim family. Then you took the means, the result in Allah's hand. If they don't turn the way you want, and I have seen it in families, La ilaha illallah. 3, the two children, amazing. The boy and the girl, the younger one, we don't know even if he believes in Allah. And we don't ask, because you don't want to know the answer. SubhanAllah, same house. The only thing the mother, when she opens up and she starts crying at this point, and she said, I spoiled him. Because he was the youngest. So in general, and the most important, before all this, is are you a good Muslim? And I'm not talking about, again, you wear hijab, you pray 5 times. Are you really a good Muslim? What we talked about for the last 2 hours. Can't expect someone in my house comes out differently and I don't practice it. If you watch shows, the child will watch shows. If you backbite, the child will backbite. You lie, the child will lie. And all of it. Again, there's exception to the rule. I'm talking about in general. And a lot of dua and dua and dua and dua. Never give up on your children. Never make a dua against your children. Even if they really, as we say, ignite every nerve in you. And sometimes they're very good in that. Keep making dua for them. When you're so upset, don't say, go, may Allah get you to Jannah. Don't do that. Say, go, may Allah guide you. May Allah bring somebody do what I failed. Perfect. Because Allah will answer your question and that child will change. And may Allah make it easy.
Ameen, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Dr Sheikha, we have so many questions coming through. And you know what, subhanAllah, this is our 4th sitting. This next question has come up again and again, but we've never been able to get to this question. Because we've got so many other questions, mashallah. This question I'm going to do this time, inshallah. It is, as women, by nature, we talk more and we interact more with people compared to men. If this is something that harms our heart, why did Allah create us like this by nature? as women, we talk a lot. And
We talk a lot.
And we interact with people a lot more. And this is something that could be quite harmful to our heart. So the question is, why did Allah make us that way in our nature? And I guess the other question that comes up alongside this is, how do we combat that?
So now you're blaming Allah. Right? No. He by nature, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, fashioned us to be mothers. Even if we are not mothers. And not every woman became a mother. Sayyida Aisha had no children. But the general rule, he fashioned the woman in a way that she is more giving. In general, I'm not praising. It's in general, more giving, more sociable, emotional, shows her emotion in a completely different way than a man. Doesn't mean the man doesn't have emotion, but they don't show it, or they show it completely different. So Allah gave me this, and He's going to take me accountable because He gave it to me? Doesn't make sense, does it? Yes or no? How do I use it? So He make me talkable. I talk more. Okay, great. Why don't you talk about Allah? Why don't you talk about something beneficial? Why do you make everything drama? And did you know? And when it starts, did you know? It's going to be the end. Actually, there will be no end. Because you said, what? And you say, I said, really? Tell me more. You're laughing because it's true. Right? Don't you ever pick up the phone on somebody and says, did you know what happened yesterday? Don't. It's the beginning of the end. Don't. So He gave me things, but I use it to the way to please Him. So I'm not going to blame it on Allah. I'm going to blame it on me. Because not every woman does it. Not every woman. There's a woman, when they speak, gems comes out of their mouth. There is women, I know, I sat with them. Every 1 hour of everybody is talking, they said one word. And I have seen men, they talk all the time. So don't blame it. I think my message is clear.
Alhamdulillah. Jazakallah khair. The next question, I think this is a good one as well, inshallah, and I think it's definitely one that has been come quite a few times by this crowd. Sometimes culture has a big expectation on the wife, the daughter, and the daughter-in-law. And naturally this can impact you mentally. Is there any tips on avoiding the stress and the anger? Because as a human, sometimes stress and anxiety takes a toll. So there's anything that can help us to overcome this, especially when some of the males around me can be unhelpful and they don't understand the expectations as a woman?
This is an extremely important question. And I see it more in the Indo-Pak than in the Arab. To a certain extent it is more. The expectation of the woman, the superwoman. You get married and you become the daughter of that family. But you're still the daughter of your own family. And then you are expected to serve 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. And I don't want, may Allah forgive me, not serve, but take care of. Right? And then they put expectation, and worse, you put expectation. Because sometimes we raise the bar for ourselves. I'm going to be the superwoman. There's no superwoman. There's no superwoman. The superwoman will end up breaking up. Because there's a limit to what I can do. In general, you need to know who you are before you get married. If you cannot live with in-laws, make it clear from day one. And there is nothing haram on that. I just can't. Because I'm not going to be pleasing Allah if I'm going to do it. If I'm going to be living with my in-laws, and I know myself, I'm not blaming them anymore. I know myself, I can't do it. Then make it clear from day one. Number 2, when you get married, you need to learn the following. You're not the same person as you were single. And the same thing the man. But you, because again, Allah fashioned you, especially when you become a mother, what Allah wants from me, I'm not going to say culture or the society, or even me what wants from me. I'm going to put it always under Allah's umbrella. When He made me a mother, this is my way to Jannah. So it's not the culture, it's not the community. It is, I need to take care of these children because this is my way to Jannah. And again, not the result. What did I do? So what you need to do is, you need to know who you are before you get married. Number two, you got married. Now you need to know, not everything you want is going to happen. And this is very difficult in this day and age, especially for the youth. Because we are living in a day and time where you just press a button and everything happens. No. Now you are living with another person. You could have different manners, different hobbies, different things. And in general, and all the married people in this room agree, men think completely different than women. Yes or no? I call it the Y chromosome. You know the Y chromosome? Everybody? Okay. The Y chromosome is very different than the X chromosome. I didn't say better, and I didn't say worse. A'udhu billah, but it's different. You say something, you mean something, the man takes it completely different. Not because he doesn't understand you, but this is how they think. So when you are with a man, don't say he's better. It's just we are different. Learn to know the differences. And this comes with time also. When you get married, the most difficult year in marriage is, there's two phases of difficulty in marriage. How many of you are married here? And you're clueless. Right? So we're just going to throw it, Allah knows? No. It's the first year. Because the first year, you're discovering the real man you got married. Not the man you loved, you fell in love with. The real one. And he's discovering the real woman, not the one he fell in love with. So the first year is the most challenging year. And that's why it's the highest number of divorces in the first year. And then you know when is the second one? I think I heard it. When you become in your 40s. If you married earlier, like if you married in your 20s, when you get to the 40s, it's so amazing. It's the age of Allah, the only age in the Quran, 40. And in the United States, I don't know what you call it here, but then it's midlife crisis they call it. Honestly, midlife crisis. The highest number of divorces at that age. Men go and buy these thousands of dollars cars, not sports cars always, and the woman go and do whatever. And it is the highest age of divorce. So these are the two times. In general, again, know who you are, require patience, and require compromise. And as we always say, and I'm sure you say it here too, choose your battles. You have to have things that is non-negotiable for you. And the same thing with your children. You're going to say, these are red lines. This is not going to happen in my house. If this is going to happen, we're going to have a complete different discussion. Same thing you put, and you need to talk to your spouse about it. And the same thing he will tell you. If you are getting married and he told you, my mom is the most important thing in my life, then you need to live with that. This is not going to change. And by the way, and don't get upset with me, you all are mothers. He is right. Then you need to know, where are you going into? What are you going into? And never ever, and look at what I say, never ever marry somebody thinking they will change. They will not change, because you will not change. If anybody changed, I don't know how much will change to the better. Unless you get connected with Allah, you will definitely change to the better. So how to do this and that. I mean, we're talking about 16 years old, or a woman married for 20 years. And I mean, what I'm sharing with you is because it is real. You see it. And Allah make it easy.
Ameen, Ameen. Sheikha, one more question, inshallah. We have, what rights do parents have on you if they haven't been present in your childhood life, but they want some sort of right?
I'm struggling with the British accent.
Sorry, I'll try once more, inshallah.
Wallahi, I'm struggling.
What rights do parents have on
What
you?
rights do parents have
On you
on me?
if they have not been present in your childhood, and now that you're in adulthood, they want to have some rights over you?
It is very common question, Hannah. I can tell you how many written questions I get, and especially fathers. I don't know why. That they were not in my life. What rights they have on me? What's the answer? You think they're your father? They are. He is your father, she is your mother, or they are your parents. وَقَضَى رَبُّكَ أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا إِيَّاهُ وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. He said, Allah, Qadar, have decreed that you do not worship but Allah and equal. The only thing in the whole Quran, Allah put it equal to him as parents. And He didn't say, they raised you, they took care of you, they did not, they left you. But there is levels. Again, to be real, you can never boycott them. Your Jannah will be, the path to Jannah will be really difficult. You can never boycott them. You can never say, you're not my parents. You left me, I'm leaving you. That's not Muslims. But there is also, I'm a human, and I get hurt. When I figure out my father left me when I was a baby, or my mom didn't want me. It hurts, but I want to go to Jannah. This is why I told you in the whole talk, focus on your akhirah. Without focusing on akhirah, literally traveling in this dunya is much harder. So they have the right of a parent, and that doesn't change. How much I will take care of them, and I will give them, and I will forgive them, how much you want to, which level of Jannah you want to be. It's your choice. The only time I say you really need to be very careful in how close you are if there was a sexual abuse. That's a different story. Completely different story. As they're not pleasing to Allah. But they're still your parents. He's still your father. Can't boycott him, but I will be very much distant. But still, I'm not going to boycott. Let alone revenge. That's not a Muslim. I leave him to Allah. I leave him to the one and the only one who's just. And may Allah make it easy.